Welcome to Love Scout, your trusted guide to a happier life and more fulfilling relationships. Here, we believe that everyone deserves expert advice and compassionate support on their journey to love, healing, and self-discovery. Whether you're navigating the highs of new romance or the lows of heartbreak, we're here to help you make sense of it all. So join us as we explore the wisdom, science, and real-life stories that can help you build stronger connections and a brighter, more joyful future. We've all heard it, haven't we? That well-intentioned, often repeated phrase, "let's stay friends." It's almost a reflex, a societal script we pull out when a relationship ends. It sounds mature, even enlightened, a testament to our ability to navigate complex emotions with grace and understanding. In a world that increasingly values amicable splits and conscious uncoupling, the idea of transitioning from lovers to friends seems like the ideal outcome. But is it truly possible to seamlessly transition into a platonic relationship after sharing intimacy and deep connection? Or is "let's stay friends" just a comforting myth, a well-meaning platitude that ultimately prolongs pain and hinders the healing process? The reality, as is often the case with matters of the heart, is far more complicated and nuanced than the simple phrase suggests. It's a tangled web of emotions, expectations, and unspoken desires. After a breakup, the emotional landscape is a minefield, a volatile terrain of grief, anger, and confusion. And trying to navigate that minefield as friends can make it even more treacherous, adding layers of complexity to an already delicate situation. The allure of staying connected is undeniably strong. You shared so much of your life with this person, built a history together, and losing them completely feels like erasing a significant part of your own story. But often, the underlying desire to stay friends is rooted in a deeper, perhaps less conscious fear of loneliness and the unknown that lies ahead. Or perhaps even more subtly, it's fueled by a secret, lingering hope for reconciliation, a belief that maybe, just maybe, things could eventually work out. These underlying motives, however well-intentioned, inevitably create instability and imbalance in the dynamic, making a truly healthy and balanced friendship nearly impossible to achieve in the immediate aftermath of a breakup. Meeting for coffee, once a comfortable ritual, suddenly becomes awkward and fraught with unspoken tension. Every conversation feels like navigating a potential landmine, each word carefully chosen to avoid triggering old wounds or sparking new conflicts. You're no longer partners, sharing intimacy and a future, but you're also not strangers, able to move on without a second thought. You're stuck in an emotional limbo, a confusing and often painful in-between state. True and lasting friendships are built on a foundation of honesty, mutual respect, and a sense of ease and comfort, not on constantly navigating a complex web of unspoken feelings, unresolved issues, and lingering attachments. A breakup, in its essence, is a profound kind of loss, a death of shared dreams, a severing of intertwined paths. And in order to truly heal from that loss, you need space, time, and distance to grieve and process your emotions. Time to rediscover yourself as an individual, separate from the we that you once were. Forcing a friendship too soon after a breakup is akin to building a house on a foundation of rubble and debris. The underlying instability will inevitably cause the structure to crumble and collapse under its own weight. Only after fully moving on, processing the loss, and establishing a sense of individual identity can a genuine and healthy platonic connection even be realistically considered. And sometimes, perhaps more often than we'd like to admit, letting go completely and embracing the space to heal is the most mature and compassionate choice you can make, both for yourself and for your former partner. As a therapist, I can tell you, most experts strongly advise against immediate friendship with an ex. This isn't cynicism, it's protection, rooted in how we process loss. No contact isn't punishment. It's the space needed for healing. Dr. Courtney Warren notes that continued contact keeps both people emotionally stuck. Seeing or talking to your ex blurs boundaries and reactivates old feelings. This keeps the wound open, preventing true healing. Dr. Juliana Morris warns of emotional hooking, clinging to friendship as false hope for reconciliation. This keeps you in limbo, unable to accept the breakup. A clean break is the kindest break, even if it feels harsh at first. Clear boundaries and time apart give both people the freedom to heal. Prioritize your mental health. Don't get trapped in a cycle of pain. Staying friends with an ex can deeply hinder your healing. Every interaction can trigger old memories and feelings, reopening wounds. Social media updates or texts can feel like fresh betrayals. The boundaries are blurry. Are you friends or something more? This ambiguity is exhausting, fueling anxiety and even depression. If you still have feelings, you may bend over backward to keep the connection, eroding your self-esteem. You're auditioning for a lesser role in their life, which is diminishing. This arrangement keeps you stuck in denial and bargaining, unable to reach acceptance. Grieving requires space from the source of your pain. You can't move on if your ex is still a daily presence. True healing only happens when you allow yourself to fully process the loss. The long-term consequences of staying friends with an ex can sabotage your future relationships. Imagine trying to build something new while your ex remains a constant presence. Your new partner may feel threatened, insecure, or in competition with your past. This dynamic breeds suspicion and jealousy, poisoning new romance. You may find yourself defending the friendship, creating conflict and stress. Beyond romance, staying tethered to your ex stunts your personal growth. Breakups are opportunities for self-discovery. Don't rob yourself of that. Emotional energy spent on your ex is energy you can't invest in yourself or new experiences. To move forward, you must make space for new possibilities. Letting go is the first step toward a healthier, happier future. Take Sarah, a graphic designer whose boyfriend Ben ended things but insisted they stay best friends. Heartbroken, Sarah agreed, hoping for reconciliation. For 6 months, they texted and met regularly, outwardly friends, but for Sarah, it was torture. Every kind word reignited hope. Every mention of Ben's social life sparked jealousy. She stopped dating, waiting for Ben to come back. The illusion shattered when Ben told her he was seeing someone new. It felt like a second, more painful breakup. Sarah realized she'd put her life on hold for a dead relationship. Going no contact was hard, but it finally allowed her to heal. She reconnected with friends, focused on her art, and rebuilt her life. Sarah's story shows how post-breakup friendship can trap you in false hope. Sometimes, cutting ties is the only way to move on. Now let's delve into a scenario with Mark. Mark, burdened by guilt, broke up with Chloe but agreed to remain friends. He thought he was doing the right thing, softening the blow of the breakup with the promise of continued companionship. At first, it seemed mature and amicable. They navigated the initial awkwardness, seemingly proving that exes could indeed be friends. However, the situation became complicated when Mark started dating Emily. He was excited about this new chapter in his life, eager to build a fresh relationship. Chloe, still processing the breakup, continued to lean on Mark for emotional support, often calling him late at night or confiding in him about her struggles. This constant contact blurred the boundaries of their friendship. Emily, witnessing this dynamic, felt increasingly uncomfortable. She felt like she was sharing her boyfriend with his ex, a situation that bred insecurity and resentment. Mark, caught in the middle, tried to please everyone, wanting to be a good friend to Chloe while also nurturing his new relationship with Emily. But his efforts backfired, and he ended up hurting both women and himself. The constant juggling act took a toll on his emotional well-being. The friendship had morphed into a tangled web of guilt, obligation, unresolved feelings, and unspoken expectations. It was a situation ripe for miscommunication and hurt feelings. Eventually, Mark realized his kindness was inadvertently preventing Chloe from fully moving on and finding her own happiness. He was unintentionally keeping her tethered to the past. Furthermore, this complex dynamic was actively sabotaging his new relationship with Emily, creating friction and undermining their connection. He finally recognized the need for change and initiated an honest, albeit difficult, conversation with Chloe. He explained his feelings and the impact their continued close friendship was having. Ultimately, he chose a clean break, acknowledging that it was the only way for both of them to heal and move forward independently. It was a painful decision, filled with sadness and regret, but it was necessary for everyone's long-term growth and well-being. Mark's story serves as a cautionary tale, showing that even well-intentioned friendships with exes, born out of a desire to be kind and avoid conflict, can inadvertently create complex and damaging situations, leading to emotional distress and relationship turmoil. Sometimes the best way to truly care for others and, crucially, for yourself, is to have the courage to let go, to create space for healing and new beginnings. Establishing and maintaining healthy boundaries is absolutely essential for true healing and for fostering healthy relationships in the future. Don't allow guilt to keep you stuck in the past, preventing you and others from moving forward towards a brighter future. Navigating the aftermath of a breakup can be a complex and emotional journey. It's a time filled with introspection, healing, and the often difficult task of redefining relationships. Experts in the field of psychology and relationship counseling consistently highlight certain patterns and behaviors that can hinder the healing process. One of the most significant red flags that emerges in the wake of a romantic split is the concept of a post-breakup friendship. While it might seem like a mature and amicable solution, maintaining a friendship with a former partner is often fraught with complications and can impede emotional recovery. First and foremost, attempting to be friends immediately after a breakup directly interferes with the crucial process of healing. Detachment, both physical and emotional, is absolutely necessary to process the end of the relationship and begin to rebuild your individual identity. However, maintaining a friendship inherently keeps you connected to your ex-partner, both emotionally and often physically. This continued connection makes it incredibly difficult to achieve the necessary distance for true healing. It's like trying to heal from a burn while continuing to hold your hand to the flame. The constant exposure prevents the wound from properly closing and mending. You need space to allow the healing process to unfold naturally. Second, these post-breakup friendships rarely stem from purely platonic motives. More often than not, there are underlying unspoken desires and expectations at play. Often one person secretly hopes for a reconciliation, clinging to the possibility of rekindling the romance, or perhaps fears being alone and seeks comfort in the familiar presence of their ex. This imbalance of expectations can lead to further emotional distress and confusion. Psychologist Dr. Janice Vilhauer, a renowned expert in relationship dynamics, aptly calls this phenomenon breakup denial, highlighting the tendency to avoid the reality of the separation by clinging to a semblance of the former relationship. Third, and perhaps most significantly, staying friends with an ex-partner can often damage your future romantic relationships, creating a sense of unease and mistrust with new partners. The continued presence of an ex in your life can easily trigger feelings of jealousy and insecurity in a new partner, leading to unnecessary conflict and strain on the budding relationship. New love needs a clean slate, a fresh start free from the shadows of past relationships. It needs to be nurtured without lingering ties to the past, allowing for genuine connection and trust to flourish. Finally, these complex post-breakup friendship arrangements can subtly erode your self-worth over time, leaving you feeling undervalued and uncertain. It can keep you trapped in a cycle of seeking validation from someone who has already moved on, hindering your ability to recognize your own inherent value. The post-breakup period should be a dedicated time for self-reflection and personal growth. It should be about rediscovering your own inner strength, resilience, and independence. Distance, both physical and emotional, is the most effective way to foster genuine personal growth and unwavering confidence in yourself and your future. Don't settle for a placeholder friendship that ultimately holds you back. Give yourself the precious chance to truly move forward, unburdened by the past, and embrace the possibilities that lie ahead. Healthy closure, the kind that allows you to step confidently into the future, starts with the courageous act of letting go. So what should you do after a breakup? Focus on radical self-care. This means more than bubble baths. It's about nurturing your mind, body, and spirit. Set firm boundaries, starting with a period of no contact. Delete their number, mute them online, and resist checking in. This isn't cruelty. It's creating space for your wounds to heal. Reinvest your energy in yourself. Reconnect with friends, rediscover hobbies, or try something new. Use this time to get to know yourself again. Ask, who am I on my own? Embrace solitude as a chance to become your own best friend. Letting go is a process. Be patient and compassionate with yourself. The goal isn't to erase the past, but to release its hold on you. By focusing on your own growth, you open the door to a more fulfilling future. Every breakup is unique, and only you know what's best for your healing. The advice here is a compass, not a rigid map. Use it to make informed, self-protective choices. Be honest about your motivations. Is friendship truly platonic, or are you hoping for more? If you're not ready to hear about your ex's new life without pain, friendship isn't the answer. Prioritizing your emotional safety is true maturity. Share your experiences and support others. Community helps us heal. Your journey matters, and your story can inspire others. The end of one chapter is the start of another. By letting go, you make space for a brighter, more authentic you. Your future is waiting. Step into it with hope.